The Louisiana sun, man, it can be cruel. You know what I mean. Was bearing down hard that afternoon, cooking the old blacktop of Troma till you'd swear the whole street was melting. That's New Orleans for you. Full of beauty and history, but always simmering. Always that quiet tension you feel even when nothing's happening yet. Like the city's holding its breath, waiting for the next thing to blow. I've been working the force a while. Name's Max McMillan. Folks around here call me Mac. And let me tell you, that badge isn't just metal. Sometimes it feels like a brick on your chest, weighing you down in ways nobody warns you about when you're young and think justice means something clear. That day, I was running the usual patrol, my squad car AC working overtime, but losing the battle when dispatch came through. Noise complaint, some dog raising hell on Magnolia Street. Nothing serious. On paper, anyway, but in this city, small things have a way of turning big fast that I parked outside this little shotgun house. One of those tidy places where you can smell home cooking drifting out the window. Makes you hungry even if you just ate. But today that good smell was tangled up with something sharp. The kind of barking that tells you this isn't just a bored pet. This is trouble. As I stepped out, I caught sight of a brindle pit bull, King, his collar red, pulling at a leash held by what looked like a gust of wind could knock her over. A tiny, old black woman with steel gray hair tied back, and these eyes that said she'd seen more in one lifetime than most folks could stomach in three. Her hand trembled, but her jaw was set. She wasn't scared, just tired of the whole circus. "Ma'am, can you control that dog?" My voice sounded sharper than I meant. The pit bull lunged again, teeth flashing white against that dark muzzle, and I felt my nerves jangle, memories of dog calls gone bad. Behind me, in the squad car, Kaiser, my K9 German Shepherd, watched with that calm, professional stare, like he knew he'd be called into action before this was over. "He's just protective, officer. He won't hurt a soul." Her voice was steady, but you could see her arms shaking. I wanted to believe her. But that's the thing. One wrong move and someone gets hurt, and it's on you. "I'm gonna need you to secure that animal, ma'am. If you can't, I'll have to." I left the sentence hanging, but she heard it clear enough, her lips pressed tight, a flicker of defiance in her eyes. "I've had King since he fit in my arms, and he's never hurt anybody." She held on a little tighter, somehow looking taller, bigger, just by sheer will. By now, the neighbors had started to drift out, arms crossed, eyes sharp, the kind of silence that weighs a ton. This was Troma, and everybody knows how quickly a white cop and an old black lady can go sideways, especially over something as loaded as a dog. I felt them judging me, waiting for me to slip, maybe even hoping for it. Maybe that's why I did it. Maybe that's why I opened Kaiser's door, let him out slow, leash in hand. A warning. "Ma'am, last chance." She didn't answer, just dug her heels in. And right then, King surged forward again, barking louder, teeth bared. My training took over, and before I could even think, I gave Kaiser the command, "Contain." And he launched, all muscle and discipline, right at King. The pit bull snapped back in surprise, but Kaiser's training was sharper than instinct. He pinned King fast. For a second it was just noise, fur, teeth. Then a scream tore through the street. Not the dog's, the woman's. She went down hard, knees on the hot pavement, sobbing so hard I thought her heart might break right there. I froze. That's not how it's supposed to go. All those lectures about de-escalation, empathy, they ran through my head, but too late. "Release," I yelled, and Kaiser snapped off, trotting back to my side, tongue lolling. King limped over to the woman, who cradled his head, her body shaking with grief and anger. You attacked my King," she sobbed, and every word felt like a punch. I knelt down, my own heart in my throat, wanting to explain, wanting to fix it, but nothing I could say would matter. And then, here's the twist, the gut punch that makes you question everything. There was a shadow at the door. Out stepped a man, broad-shouldered, tough, in an old army shirt, eyes the same stormy blue as the woman's. He took it all in, the chaos, the blood, the cop kneeling in front of his mother. "Mama," What the hell is going on? His voice was deep, steady, the kind of voice that made you want to stand up straighter. The woman looked up, shock mixing with tears. David, you're home, David. The name hit me like ice water down my back. David McMillan, my old field training officer, the man who'd shaped me, kept me alive my first year in the department, who I hadn't seen since he retired out of the Army. The same last name. That's when I saw the chain around his neck, dog tags. And the world kind of spun for a second as I put it together. The woman on the ground was Evelyn McMillan, his mother, the dog I'd just let my partner loose on, her king. My mouth went dry. I tried to talk, but the words stuck. Mac, is that you? David's voice wavered for the first time. Neighbors stopped muttering. Phones dropped. Everyone suddenly realized this wasn't about a barking dog anymore. Ma'am, I croaked. I didn't know. I swear, but what could I say? I looked down at my hands, shaking, saw the badge, saw what it had made me forget. The woman, Evelyn, looked right at me now, really seeing me, and for a second, even with tears on her cheeks, she was searching for the kid she must have known from the old days. David, is this your trainee? She asked, voice barely above a whisper. The pit bull whimpered. The crowd stayed silent. David stepped out onto the porch, tension and heartbreak written across his face, and for a second nobody knew what to do. He just stared at me, his own student, his legacy, caught in the ugliest mess of all. And all I could think was, I'd spent years learning to react, to control, to be the law, but never once did anyone teach me how to see the people behind the call, the histories, the pain. Evelyn reached out then, her hand shaky, old, but strong, brushing my sleeve, just for a moment. Not forgiveness, not yet, but something like it, maybe. My son's trainee, she murmured, like she was piecing together a puzzle she wished she'd never seen. That hurt more than anything. The weight of it all, the badge, the rules, the way I'd let fear and routine blind me, sat on my chest like another sun, burning a hole straight through. The crowd didn't say a word, didn't move, just watched the scene. An old wound laid bare. A family caught in the crossfire of someone else's training.so. Yeah, that's how it happened. A noise complaint, a split-second decision, and suddenly all the lines between right and wrong, justice and judgment, family and duty, they vanished. I stood up slow, knees creaking, looking at King, looking at Evelyn, and at David, and all I wanted was to go back and do it better. But life doesn't give you rewinds, only lessons you wish you'd learned sooner. Maybe that's why, now, every time I pass by that block, I slow down a little, pay attention. Because, sometimes, the people you're meant to protect are the same folks who taught you how to be a human being, not just a cop. And sometimes the worst mistakes, the ones that make you sick when you remember them, are the only things that push you to change. That day, accountability wasn't about an arrest, a ticket, or a protocol. It was about owning up to the harm you caused even when you didn't mean to, and starting the long, hard work of seeing people for who they really are, not just what the call sheet says.so tell me. When does duty cross the line into blindness? Can you really call yourself just if you can't see the heart beating behind the uniform, the leash, the anger? I don't have the answers, but maybe you do. Let's hear it. Who decides where justice ends and humanity begins? And is it ever too late to change the way we see each other?